Well, Gary, the league leaders beaten on their own turf this afternoon. Finished Warrington Rylands 0, Whitby Town 1. An outstanding away performance there.
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head. Absolutely outstanding. I think coming into the game, if we were to get anything from the game, points wise, we were always going to have to be at our best or somewhere near our best. And I think if I'm taking both halves into context, you're probably seeing the best of both sides of Whitby Town today and how I like my teams to play. First half, totally dominant. I'm sure Renault would agree with that. We had a good couple of chances which we didn't quite put to bed. They had a 5 to 10 minute spell within that first half where they had a chance and we needed Blandy to be at his best, which he always is and which he was throughout the game today. But no, first half totally dominant, and second half we knew they'd change something. The top of the league, and Renault's got them playing really well, and you could see second half why the top of the league. And we had to be resolute. We had to stand up and be counted in terms of our defensive work. And saying that, we still were a real threat on the counter with DC and Lates and Charlo with his pace up there. So we were still a real threat going forward in that second half, and had a few opportunities to put the game to bed. But to a man, I thought we were outstanding today, and I'm obviously stating the obvious, but I'm absolutely over the moon with the 1-0 victory.
Yeah, it took until just before the half-time break before that goal did come, but like you referenced there, Whitby probably barring maybe a 5-minute spell from Rylands in that first half, really on top and looking to take the game to their opponents.
We were excellent. We knew we'd have to start quick today, on a soggy pitch, a soft pitch. Coming away from home against the league leaders, they're probably, the odds were obviously going to be against us, and you could, I referenced it earlier, you could obviously see why. But no, we started the game really well. I think we got team selection right today, and especially with the midfield three that we put in there. We really pressed from the front today in all areas of that forward line, and it helped us, as we went further back. I'm really happy. Obviously, a massive result for us, and it keeps a run going that we're currently really proud of.
Yeah, and it was Hardy Dawson who got the goal, but other than his goal as well, it's really well taken. But you could see throughout that midfield, it felt like him and Adam Gell really controlled that well with Lewis Hawkins just ahead of them.
I thought they were excellent today, and I thought with his presence in there, Harley, with his height. With his ball mastery, I think it was an important piece of the jigsaw today to play Harley. He helps out defensively in terms of what they have at the top end, the threat that George Waring brings, aerially, and it just takes a bit of pressure off the back lads in that respect. And as you've just said, I've just said the same thing in there. I think he was, arguably, the best player on the pitch today. And he deserves a massive pat on the back. You forget Harley, he's 18 years old, and he's come from a season at Pickering last season, but he's certainly not looked out of place since he's come into the squad and into the team, and long may that continue.
Yeah, and we referenced that commentary as well, going through this sort of man of the match debate, but it says a lot when you're struggling to pick one, which just shows that strong team performance there, defensively as well, testing that second half.
100%. Blandy was there on a big day for him, which I'm sure we'll touch on in a minute. Blandy was there to make his saves. Smudge is reliable as ever. Colo is reliable as ever. Nels has been in outstanding form recently. Frankie always could have been tough for Frankie. Being out of action for 3 or 4 weeks, but never looks out of place, Frankie. And as you referenced, I'm probably going to go through the team now. But the midfield too, in Gelly and Harley, really good. Hawksy was playing in a little bit of an unfamiliar position to help him get around the pitch and sort of have a little bit of a licence to do that in that number 10 role. Wide lads were always a threat. DC was excellent, especially first half and in little bits in the second half. And then Charlo with his running power was always a threat. The subject came on also impacted us in a really good way, and I take good satisfaction, when their staff are telling me that we're the best team to have come to the Hive. So I'm really pleased with the performance. I wish Renault and his Warrington team all the best now for the rest of the season. A good guy, a great manager, and I'm sure they'll have a really good season.
Yeah, and I'm sure for you as well, defensively, it's assuring to see that when you've taken yourself back out of the lineup and brought Franco in, and that you can still have to keep that real solid element to them there.
Yeah, I only play when obviously desperate measures and when other players are unavailable, and we're unlucky that a couple of defenders got injured at the same time in Frankie with his suspension obviously and his concussion, and then Guinness he had his hamstring niggle, probably not quite 100% yet to play, but he's back in training, and that's a massive massive player for us again to come back in the squad. I think the positive for me today was that we had a really strong starting 11, and the 5 subs who came on could quite easily start the game, and we were really unlucky not to start the game. And as I said, I took real care with team selection today to get us in the best position possible to win the game or to get something from the game, and thankfully for me it worked out.
Yeah, and you've already mentioned him, Shane Blander. Last week it was matching the club appearance record, and now today officially surpassing that on 485 appearances now. And really his performance was well worthy of that, and a couple of really good saves, particularly that one following the corner in the second half.
Yeah, I agree. Outstanding save with his legs in the first half, which would have been undeserved to us to go one behind, but when he's there, he's there, and he's a big block to get past. And no, his kicking was good today. He got us up the pitch, and as you said, some of those saves in the second half, when he's plucking them out the top corner and tipping them over the bar and stuff, there, they might seem like chalk and cheese to him, but they're tough to judge. But I feel, and I've said it many times, I feel I've got the best goalkeeper in the league. In all aspects of his goalkeeping, and I won't come away from that. Massive congratulations to him, 485. A massive success story for him at this football club throughout the years, and I'm sure he's picked up many awards throughout the years to prove that. And he's a massive part of this team. He's a massive part of the dressing room. I said before the game I wanted to make it a special day for him, in getting something from the game, or ideally in winning the game, and we've just given him a massive round of applause in there, and got him to do a little speech for us, which wasn't quite comfortable, I don't think, but huge pat on the back to Blandy, and well done, mate.
Yeah, and then just looking at that game next week, now that'll be the match where we can give Blandy a proper sort of ceremony for ahead of kick-off in that one. But the match itself against Liddle Town, quite low in the league, but I'm sure they'll be buoyed after a good FA trophy when they get Scarborough this afternoon.
Yeah, I didn't know they'd won, but yeah, they did. I think the last league game they won as well. If they've won today, that's 2 in a row, and that momentum you can gather in little runs like that is huge at our level, and we're on the good side of that at the moment. We've certainly been on the other side of that in the past, but as we are now, we're in massive confident mood. We'll go into that league game in massive confident mood, and we're at home back at the Tour Bar, and we'll welcome League. I'll welcome Josh, and we'll certainly look to get 3 points out of that, and keep our decent run going, and keep an eye on that top end of the league where we obviously are at the moment, and where we'll always aim to be.
Thanks much, Gary.
Thank you.